NoSo Connection. Welcome to NoSo. It's been a while. Welcome to NoSo Countdown live here on the NoSo Connection YouTube channel. Want to welcome everyone into SummerSlam week. It's Tuesday of SummerSlam week, and we like to do these on the week of the big shows. So that's exciting stuff. Ryan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Justin. This is the fourth one that we've done. So now we got to come up for a new gimmick at Survivor Series. So we'll see what we come up with.
Yeah, we'll come up with something good. But this is a fun one, and this is an interesting one because SummerSlam, it's known for a lot of great shows, but I feel like the moments are condensed to certain shows and not spread out like a Mania, where we had a hard time picking. Like, it was easy to get one from each from Mania, right? For this, obviously, we don't have one from each because it's going to be 38 SummerSlams after this weekend, and we're only doing 25 picks. We also have 5 honorable mentions or so that we'll cover as we dive in. So if you're new to the gimmick, you can see on the screen there's 25 moments that we've chosen to be kind of the top 25 in SummerSlam history. We're going to go one at a time. They're randomized order, and we're going to stack rank as we go. So we're going to kind of just on the fly move them up and down the list. And then we'll hit our honorable mentions as well. And then we can kind of talk if there's anything we missed. Let us know. Again, this is streaming live. So if you're watching live, welcome. If you leave a comment in the YouTube on there or Facebook, wherever you're watching, we'll read it on air as we go as well. So we'll definitely be sure to work those in along the way. So I guess we can dive in, Ryan. What do you say? We'll get into our honorable mentions here.
And not to kill a lead, but out of the big 4, I think this is the one that lacks the most moments.
Yeah. But the big ones are big. Like there's some memorable shit. But yeah, I mean, nothing's going to touch Mania for moments, right?
Or even Survivor Series. Survivor
Series is a sneaky moment show. But in-ring Survivor Series kind of lacks a lot. So like SummerSlam kind of is the opposite. It's like has a lot of great classic matches on SummerSlam, less moment-based outside of some shows. But
yeah, in storyline-wise, you get a lot of culmination at SummerSlam, right? So, all right, Justin, what do we got for honorable mentions, buddy?
This kills me to make it an honorable mention because it's so near and dear to everyone in this universe's hearts. Let me play the song. You know what's coming. We're all still looking for it. That is, of course, 1990. He's just a common man. 1990 with the Search for Sapphire. I would have had this number 1 personally on if I was just doing a list because it's one of the all-time iconic SummerSlam moments. I can do a plug. We just did NoSo SummerSlam 90 recently, and I don't think I've spent more passionate energy into anything that I did than telling the narrative of the Dusty Rhodes Sapphire segments from SummerSlam 90 for that show.
Yeah, Justin, we did about 404 WrestleMania matches together when we counted them all down. And I got more feedback from you on care and like, is this okay? And if you want it to sound like this, and I'm like, dude, it's Sapphire. He's like, but I have 17 clips. I'm like, just send it to me. Give me a second in between, and I'll splice them all together. You and Sapphire, man, there's something going on there.
I love it. I've even met her in Orlando, I believe it was, or no, it was New Orleans, WrestleMania 34. She gave me a smooch on the cheek and the concourse. Me and Sweet Sapphire stealing it for Dusty Rhodes. But it's just so fun to watch. Like Duggan's classic line, right? We're all still looking for is so fucking absurd. The way he walks in, he's looking around. Dusty's so upset. Gene is like, the straight man in all this is so good. Like, maybe she'll receive the greatest gift of all here tonight. Like, it's so good. And the DiBiase is such a prick out on the stand with her. And then Savage not giving a fuck and just kicking the shit out of Dusty as he's like crying.
Yeah, and then they're closing one chapter and starting a whole new. It's really great storytelling, and you don't really realize how important Dusty is for that 18 months that he's in the WWE.
Oh yeah, and it kind of drops there. Like the DiBiase is like okay, but like his run from SummerSlam 89 to SummerSlam 90 is really good, and that I talked about it endlessly recently on different podcasts, but whatever. His promo at the end of SummerSlam 90, like, is one of his best ever. Like, it is so good for this stupid fucking angle. It's amazing. You pay me back and scorn. Like, it is so good. It's classic. You put that promo in the studio in 1987, Crockett, like it fits right in with all his best stuff. It's so good. If you haven't watched or listened to that promo in a long time, like check it out. It's vintage Dusty. It's so good. I think it's overlooked how good it is.
I can't believe we just did 5 minutes on Sapphire, but I'm not mad at it whatsoever.
It might be his best promo in the WWF. I guarantee that. Is
it better than Hard Times?
Well, no, that's not WWF though. I mean, Hard
I'm
Times.
kidding. I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
Hard Times is like iconic, but this is up there with some of his best. His other iconic one is the walk behind her with Arn and Dustin. Let me be your partner. That one in '94. I'd put this like not far from that. Like it's so good. He's so angry over something so dumb. All right, our second honorable mention. We go to 2015. This had to make the list. The match exceeds all expectations. I was at that show. And coming off their WrestleMania 30 match, which is obviously hampered by the concussion, no one knew what to expect, especially this closing the show. But they ball out. They have a great match with no gimmicks, really. They just have a fantastic match. And then this moment with the looking when, Brock sits up and he's chuckling and then Taker just fucking laughs at him. It's so absurd.
I'm not sure if in 2015 if memes were a thing, but this became a meme instantly whenever it happened. It's really fun. It felt big. They had a really good match compared to WrestleMania 30. WrestleMania 30, a much bigger moment, but the moment here is the laugh and the respect that they shown. And really, The Undertaker never really did that in ring, especially on a pay-per-view, especially in the main event of a SummerSlam, right?
Yeah.
So I thought it was a cool moment for sure, and it deserves an honorable mention.
Do you think he was supposed to laugh, or do you think he was like supposed to sit up and stare at him and do this or something, and then he was just like, fuck it, because it's so moment, out of character and nuts,
I think it's a respect thing. Perhaps they called it, I'm sure it'll come out in like a podcast that he does now that he's Mr. Podcast, right? But it could have been
unhinged. You never know. It's unhinged. All right, let's go to 2016. We have Finn Balor winning the Universal title, becoming the first Universal Champion, getting injured during the match. Kind of put the curse on that belt right out of the gate. That was another SummerSlam where I was at, the Brooklyn one. He takes the powerbomb into the railing, messes his shoulder up. But again, it was the dawning of a new era with the brand new Universal title.
Yeah, snake bitten kind of kills his career. Who knows what it could have been, would have been, and whatnot. It sucks for him. He never really got to that height. Yeah. It kind of kills the Demon. The Demon really never gets back to that height whatsoever. It's just an unfortunate thing, but it's worthy of a moment. And when you think Universal title, he doesn't even come to mind, right? So it's crazy.
No. And it sucks because they were ready to build it around him for sure on Raw. 2019. This is one I think we've talked. I don't think I've ever talked more about this moment in my life than we have the last 2 weeks. This one was in and out of the top 25. Like every other day, it would get bumped, it would be back in, get bumped again, be back in. But this is the Fiend's debut in 2019. Shows up at the end. He attacks Reigns, right?
No, that's next year. This is against Finn Balor.
That's right.
It's a 5-minute sprint. It's really the peak of the Fiend. But the Fiend started becoming a thing after WrestleMania 35, a Monday or two afterwards. The Firefly Funhouses, all the presentation. He instantly started selling merch, and he got really, really hot.
Right. Okay.
The red light has appeared. It's pitch black. There's so much, as the kids would say, aura. There's so much presence. And unfortunately, looking back at it, this is the peak. It's the build up to the debut. And then after this, it's a hard downfall to the Universal title and a lot of roller coaster of mediocrity at peaks. But you can't deny the moment in the reaction that he has. You still get goosebumps of that Code Orange song that we hear now with the Wyatt Six, right? So, yeah, it's definitely memorable. It's his peak. It deserves an honorable mention opposed to being in the top 25, I assume, because there's just other stuff that lasts longer, so to speak.
All right, let's get to our last honorable mention. That's from last year. Another one that we kind of had on the chopping block back and forth, and that is Roman Reigns' surprise return. I put surprise in air quotes, to come out and attack Solo, and at the end of the Cody Rhodes Solo Sikoa match. Again, like it's a great pop. The crowd goes nuts for him. It's his first appearance since Mania when he lost the belt, and so it's cool. It's a cool moment, but it was also super obvious. Like everyone knew he was coming back at SummerSlam in this moment. It was clear he was going to come back as a face. Like it was not a surprise. So I don't know. Like there's this other stuff in this 25 that I thought belonged a little bit more, but this is on the cusp only because of the pop is so big.
Yeah, and every time he appears, he gets a pop like this now. So it's there. The 20 moment, despite being in the Thunderdome, has way more significance.
Yeah,
the match. Cody versus Solo was kind of harpened to be what it was and waiting for that pop, like you said. But, it definitely warrants a spot, an honorable mention, but it just made it didn't quite make the top 25. Right.
Yeah. And if I had to rank these, what's going number 26, and that's Sweet Safa. All right, let's get to our 25 now. Again, these are random.
Random order. I already randomized them, Justin. Yep. So you can see as we're going here, but what's kicking us off here?
We're going to start in 2002, and that is the crowning of Brock Lesnar as the youngest at the time, world champion in WWF history, as he defeats The Rock. This match holds a lot of fond memories when you think back of it, right? It was that pure sports build that everyone's so excited coming off the Attitude Era that was so garbage brawl, and it was great, but it was all crazy storylines, and all of a sudden they kind of stop short.
Good athlete in there.
They have this pure, amazing athlete out there, and ironically enough, Rock is a good athlete, but you don't think of him, as a great he's a great athlete, but he's not presented that way in the world of wrestling, right? He's a larger,
so charismatic, you don't even realize it.
Yeah, he's more like a Hogan, where he's this bigger, larger than life character.
Showman. Yeah.
But then you see him in this video build up, and they got him, running and lifting, and they're really building this pure sports build. They didn't have any personal issue. It was just Brock earned the title shot at King of the Ring. Rock's on top of the mountain. Brock's coming for him. They're two amazing athletes. They're going to put on a great match, and that's what they did. And at the time, it was here's the guy. Here's the next guy we're going to build around. Now, it took them, 10 years to get there later, but at the time, this was what their plan was.
Yeah, it's a really good match too, as well. And it is a loaded SummerSlam. It's a top 3 SummerSlam on anyone's list, probably. And there was a bunch of great stuff before it. And all that being said, the crowd wanted this. They were ready for this. Brock went out there and delivered. And it's funny, this is really their only match. You figure that we were getting rumors of them at 30 or 29 or 31, whatever, 32, and it never culminated to anything. And this being what we have for them was still a success, 3 3/4, 4 stars, maybe even 4 1/4, that range.
Yeah.
It's a really good piece of business.
It's really good. And again, the build up, and then, he doesn't last long as the guy, right? Because he ends up,
he's gone in 2 years,
leaving, and they crown Orton instead, right? To take so they have someone else that can carry that mantle. But at the time, it felt like this is your next megastar. This is the dude. So,
and this is the first time in a while with a guy that there was no journey through a tag team, no journey through the mid-card Intercontinental. This guy arrived, and he was a main eventer pretty much instantly.
Yeah. Was there anyone else that really? Undertaker is probably the only other guy really that, not counting Hogan, obviously, because he, it's a different era, but Taker comes in.
Undertaker a year to be world champ, right? And then it took Brock from WrestleMania night after all the way to SummerSlam.
Because even Diesel was fast and Angle, but they still worked their way up through those mid-card titles.
Yep.
Yoko's probably the closest. He debuted in October, November. He's champion in March. He's probably the closest guy that didn't really go through any other stuff and just rocket shipped right to the world title.
Different times, though. This era is loaded in 2002, right? 93. It's all right. We're going with Doink or we're going with Yoko.
Right.
Yeah. So,
and you can argue Luger too is he doesn't win, but he goes up quick. They don't really screw with him too long in the lower card. All right, let's go. So that's our number one for right now. Obviously, it's going to stay that way. Even though I love this moment, 1991. It is Virgil winning the $1 million title from Ted DiBiase. It's a pretty underrated feud. I think it carries a lot of 91. I'm excited to get into it on NoSo as we go through it on there. It starts in December, where DiBiase kind of ramps up being an asshole again to Virgil. Starts making him do all the dirty work and the tasks again. They start running all these vignettes. Then he starts, teasing him about his mom and the money and all this other stuff on TV. At the Rumble, they explode. Virgil decks him with the belt. They fight at Mania in Virgil's first match with Piper. Virgil works his way up through the summer. Come on, how do you spell Virgil? He works his way up and gets this rematch against DiBiase with the $1 million title on the line. DiBiase had never lost the belt. Jake had stolen it, but he had never actually lost it on the line to anybody. So I think Virgil doing it was a cool touch to have him be the one that takes it from him. Roddy Piper's in God mode. I'm not a huge Piper commentary guy, but he's in God mode on this whole match. He is fantastic. DiBiase yelling at him is fantastic. and like Virgil gets like the pop of a lifetime. Madison Square Garden, like it's insane when he wins that belt. Just a great moment.
Yep. So two things. First being, this is kind of like the end of the Sapphire thing too, because DiBiase, Sapphire, all that stuff that boiled into Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah.
And then when the family with Virgil rolled into Virgil's family. So it's kind of our honorable mention kind of rolling into this is cute. And then the second being, I said 2002 is on anyone's top 3 SummerSlam with 13. My 3 is capped off by 91. We're gonna have a few moments from here from 91. And that's not even including an awesome match or the main event match, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're having 2 other
and the
moments.
Right. Yeah. So, it's loaded show in the wedding. Like there's so much good stuff. And the commentary is great. Like it's such a good show, and the crowd is amazing.
Yeah, no doubt.
Virgil quickly kind of nosedives from there, but
he plateaus really quick. He finds, they are who we are, but you can't take away this moment from him here and the push, right? So it's overall, it's good stuff. We got a comment here from your boy, Steve Bennett. Who did Virgil want to win this match? Who did Piper want to win this match? I wasn't sure on comment.
Come on, Virgil. I like that Virgil wins clean too. Like Piper's like arguing with DiBiase, but he doesn't there's no interference. Like Virgil beats him, which is cool. Bennett's here, so we'll shout out the Hogan tribute you guys did. It's on YouTube. It's on audio as well. Kelly Nelson covers the kind of pre-Hulkamania era, pre-WWF Hulkamania era. He touches on the AWA stuff. Great history lesson. I thought Steve did a really good job with a passionate discussion on the Hulkamania era, what that meant as a fan at that time. Living through that. I thought there's some poignant talking points in there. And then Marty Sleaze caps it with a really good discussion on the Hollywood era. As someone that started watching wrestling, in the Hollywood era, right, talks about what he meant to him at that level. So it's a good 90 minutes, really enjoyable. So be sure to check it out on our YouTube or on our podcast, any podcast app you have. So for those clowns of Spotify, just search NoSo Connection. It's on there.
Yeah, no doubt. But this is the first of a few from 91. And what I will say before we jump off this DiBiase promo before this match is my first ever wrestling memory that I can remember. I can remember watching it on my father's bed. I assume on a hot box on a Tuesday night replay, whatever it was, or maybe it was a Monday night that it was on.
SummerSlam was on the Monday, yeah.
Yes, because I remember having to go to school or whatever. So this is my first memory as a youth from like a live aspect. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch this one live. And then I remember dying because my friend Jim had the box. And I remember just dying for this tape, and he was able to get it to me, spin it around pretty quick. So I watched it like right after. But
so this should have been an honorable mention. I don't know, but you can't deny the pop.
No, it's an awesome moment. It's super memorable. Super memorable. All right, let's go to 2000 for the first ever TLC. We had the ladder match at WrestleMania with the Hardys, the Dudleys, and Edge and Christian. Going into that, Edge and Christian are more kind of straight laced, and it was funny because I was just thinking back. When you guys did the preview for the TLC match at this SummerSlam, Matt Farrell was talking about it, how he didn't realize how Edge and Christian hadn't really developed those personalities yet going into that match. And they hadn't. They were pretty straight faces. So when they won, it was actually a pretty big surprise at Mania 2000. But coming into this, they are red hot as heels. They are like on fire.
They're with Kurt, and they're insane. They got
this is kind of when they had that loose association with Shane's group. It was like Kurt, Benoit, Edge, and Christian were kind of like working with Shane McMahon as like a unit going in. So they're fantastic that whole summer. And this is the first ever tables, ladders, and chairs match. It's up there with like the first ever ladder match, the first ever Hell in a Cell match. Like this gimmick becomes so ingrained in WWE history from that moment on that it still stands out. It's a 5-star match. I like the one at 17. I like the one at 17 a little bit better, but it's the tremendous match.
Yeah, it's much better than WrestleMania 20. Or 2000, excuse me, which is good within itself for what it is. But ladder matches kind of become bastardized, but not these ones. These ones are fresh, innovative, new, and they really do deliver. So I agree. But from a moment, where would you weigh this? I think there's like problem in the bottom half.
Well, it depends. What's your moment? Is it just the fact of it being a TLC? Is it Edge and Christian winning? Is it the hanging from the?
Well, I think WrestleMania 17 has more moments within the match.
Oh yeah, because you get Rhino, you get Spike, you get Lita, that's like chaos. So if you just want to say that maybe them in the ring with the ladder, like that's the moment, I think it's probably at the bottom so far of the 3. I think it warrants being on the list for sure. But yes, I agree.
Oh, it's super important. They're even playing into it here 25 years later with double the fucking teams. Can you imagine we're on a 12-person TLC with the Wyatts hanging around? That shit's going to be mediocre as hell. I'm calling it now.
It's going to be crazy as well. But I do think it obviously, like I said, deserves to be on the list. And it's also like the kind of rebirth of the tag division had started a little earlier. But this is really like, okay, like this is the best we've had since 89 or whatever, you know, from the tag in ring stuff, right? Like they're really cooking from a tag standpoint. So,
yeah,
all right.
Stuff.
Yep. Good. You got something?
Good stuff. Go ahead.
All right. Let's go to 2005. Dirty Dom, in his first appearances ever, up for grabs in a ladder match between Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, custody battle, one of the best feuds of 05.
There's a lot.
It's really one that gets a lot of credit, right, for bringing in like a strong Latino demographic. This is when, you know, UPN, I believe, or was it CW at this point, whatever it was for SmackDown. Yeah. It was on over the air TV, and obviously had just a strong reach into that market. And this really played out like a telenovela. They were booking it themselves. A lot of crazy twists and turns, a lot of great matches. When I watched this most recently for like PTB, I do think there's, or maybe it was for War, whatever, maybe it was War. I do have my issues with it. Like, I know it's supposed to be like a soap opera. It's supposed to be campy. I just can't get past a child protective services agent sitting ringside with this kid, allowing his custody to be determined by two men fighting. And the fact that it low key makes Ray look like a bitch. Like,
well, he always does, though, right?
I know, but this is his son, and he's laying trapped. Like Vicky has to save his son for him. You know what I mean? Like it feels kind of hokey, but
there's a lot of flaws.
Yeah, but it's still super memorable.
For who Dominic Dirty Dom Mysterio
that only adds to it now.
Yes. In 20 years later,
yeah,
it adds to it. I think it's similar to TLC. You know, it's maybe a little bit more because of the Dom aspect of it. But and then you got the great moment with like Eddie freaking out, like, where the fuck is Vicky?
Yeah.
Like live on TV. And then he's like kicking the ladder. Then it's just like, it's controlled chaos, but kind of not controlled in a way too. But yeah, like Dom.
I think I'd have it above TLC and below Virgil. I think it's super memorable. The storyline is important to a whole group of fans, and like you're right, like Dom becoming a star that he's become only adds to the legend of the match. Like if we never saw him again, I think maybe it drops a little bit. I still think it's memorable, but the fact that he's now like a superstar for the promotion.
Yeah, but it's not like cool.
No.
Dom has done a complete 180 because before he had like go away. He had the good introduction with Seth Rollins, and then for a year he's just like this goofy tag with his cuck dad, and it's just like he has a bad haircut, he has no charisma, and then he kicks his dad in the balls, and then he's the coolest motherfucker around. Rhea Ripley, viral, and it matters, but is kind of what it is. It's probably bottom 25.
All right, let's go to 1994. We have Undertaker versus Undertaker, Return of the Undertaker to take on the Undertaker. Fitting Naked Gun is coming out in the theaters this year because, of course, Leslie Nielsen was a big part of this storyline. It's another one that's super hokey, right? But it's also very memorable. I mean, they spent, for anyone that's rewatched 94 or lived 94, they spent a lot of time on this story.
A lot of vignettes.
Yes. Every week you're getting, different sightings. Every week you get DiBiase out there with the fake Taker, Brian Lee, got Paul Bearer cutting promos. And then finally at SummerSlam, you got the return. I think the moment gets overshadowed by the match being so crappy, and the fact that it follows the Hearts is tough. I get why they closed the show with it because it's Taker and it's like a cool moment. But ending that show with that Heart War in the cage, like I think flips some of the narrative on 94. It was never going to be a good match. Like it just wasn't. So it is what it is. But them staring at each other is very memorable.
It's the image that I'm going to put it up right here, right? It's this image that's burned in your head. And then it's like the lore coming out of it. Did the Undertaker die? Like the Warrior 2 years earlier. Is it the new Undertaker? Did the Undertaker die? Like what's going on? He'd been gone since the Rumble with whatever injury. He was injured throughout 93 too. So this guy's been injured pretty much for 2 years now. So he was warranted for some time off, healed some stuff. Now he's back.
I love that they don't even mention it again, though. It's like maybe the next night of Raw. I don't know if they even do it because I think that was the U.S. Open, so I don't know if there even was a Raw. I don't think there is. I think they're off until September, and I don't think they even mention it again. It's just over.
They know it's kind of ass.
Yeah, and I remember like my cousin went to a house show. I think it was the one I went to too at the Work Musical Theater, and fake Taker fought Bob Holly, and I remember his parents were so mad. They were like, oh, the show is a waste of money. They didn't even have the real Undertaker. And I was trying to explain to them, like, no, that's the story. It's a fake Undertaker. But they thought it was like they were trying to trick the fan. Like they brought this guy out pretending to be Undertaker to trick the fans.
TV,
yeah, they didn't know it was like the storyline. They were all angry. Like, this guy didn't even look like him. I'm like, no, that's the whole fucking story. It's Ted DiBiase's lying,
10-year-old Justin sticking up for all this shit.
I think it also takes a hit too because it starts the interminable Taker versus $1 Million Corporation storyline that eats up
goes on deep into 95.
Yeah. So like that doesn't help either.
It's a terrible rewatch. It really is.
It's at the bottom. But it's going to be in the top 25. Yeah, it's on the poster. Leslie Nielsen's awesome. Like if you like campy comedy, like Naked Gun style comedy, all the puns.
There's definitely lore enough to put it on this list. It's just like Virgil's pops better. Like TLC's more important. It's a blimp.
George, not George Papard. What's his name? Not George Harrison.
Like the chubby guy that, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, is it George Harrison or is that the Beatle?
That's the Beatle. Is it Ringo Starr?
Who's the guy that's with him?
Fat chance I'm going to know, buddy. No chance.
I know. Let me see. George Kennedy. George Kennedy.
Oh, George Kennedy.
Yes.
Yeah.
George Kennedy. Not George Papard. All right, let's go to 2004. 10 years later, we hinted at this one earlier. It's Randy Orton becoming the youngest now WWE champion. He beats Chris Benoit in the main event of SummerSlam. Part of this was done to erase Brock after earlier in the year where he left. And, so that was, part of why they went the way they went. But Orton was on that trajectory. Like he was really hot. He beats RVD for the IC belt. He starts to really heat up in ring, has a really good series with Edge, and he's kind of almost carrying things. He has awesome matches with Foley. So he was like ready to ascend for sure here. Benoit, kind of limps into SummerSlam as champion. They didn't really project him too hard. They were fucking around with the Eugene stuff. He wins a bunch of matches, but he's not really promoted as, the guy, right? He's undercard on Bad Blood under Shawn and Triple H. So it wasn't a surprise that Orton beats him. The match is fantastic. The rematch the next night is really fantastic. To me, what ends up hurting this is the stupidity of having Orton get kicked out of Evolution, whereas it should have been Orton kicking Triple H out of Evolution and taking over as the big bad on top of the promotion.
Triple H gonna let that go down, right?
I know, but they make him look like a bitch, and then Triple H beats him a month later. So to me,
he's not ready to be a babyface whatsoever within this.
Yeah, Triple H beats him in Unforgiven, and the plan was for Orton to win it back at Mania, and then Batista just completely skyrockets over him. So to me, that hurts this moment a little bit. Like it's cool for that night, but a night later, it's like erased when they turn on him. They make him look a bitch, and then Triple H beats him 3 weeks later. So it's like, to me, that hurts it to where I'd probably have it only above Taker, and even that I'd debate.
Now, I'm going to put it over Taker just because of the match, right? But do you think that the two things, do you think Benoit kind of hurts it a little bit too historically because it's the end of his reign? And
I don't know. I mean, he's kind of almost like collateral in this one. Like, it's not even really about him. You know what I'm saying? So, like the moment, and we did Mania moments, like, I don't think we even ranked it, but the end of 20 is hurt by Benoit, right? Like that, like that's about him.
Because it's about him.
This isn't really about Benoit. It's like Orton just beats him clean, and it's about his ascension as the man, right? So, and Benoit does his job. Like he puts him over clean as a fucking whistle 2 nights in a row, in 2 fantastic matches. Like they're great matches.
So, do you think, or do you recall? Because I'm just getting out of high school this summer, and I'm not like in deep in the weeds. Did the ardent fans and everyone watching expect Orton to win?
Yes. He was clearly getting the Jesus push. Like, I think he was still a little surprised because he was so young, and I think there was still the Benoit truthers that felt like he should win. But I think a lot of fans knew like his reign was on life support a bit toward the end, and then Orton was like over. Like the Foley match really got him over big time. And those matches with Edge were like really applauded at the time. Like I think if you look back, I think the pay-per-view one's a little bit boring, but the TV one with Edge is really, really good. And he was getting like a lot of credibility. He was really, really over. So I think a lot of fans were kind of ready for Orton to ascend. That's why I do think that whole Batista may not even rise the way he did if they went with what they should have went with Orton turfing Triple H and becoming the king of Evolution. Like, because if you even think about it, Evolution, the young eats the old, right? Like it was right there for them on a fucking platter that he would be like, "We're evolving. You're gone. Either get in line. You become my Ric Flair, you become my Arn Anderson, or you get the fuck out." Right? Like that's what it should have been. And you could have turfed Flair with him if you wanted to, and said, "I'm taking over. It's me,
bringing
Batista,
a new
bringing
legend,
two young guys." Right?
Yeah.
There's always rumors they're going to bring in like Cade or whatever, Jindrak, whatever. That was all the rumor at the time. They were going to bring them in as like the young guys with Evolution, but. Yeah, no, I do think it was expected. We got Aiden in here. I feel the same way, Aiden. This Ryan Gray guy messaging me constantly, and I don't know what he's saying half the time, but there he is.
Come down. The thing is, we linked up for the preview, and I messaged him on Instagram, and then I saw him on TikTok, and I messaged him and got a hold of him there. So,
there you go. All right,
Randy Orton versus Gunther preview right there. So what do you think? Above the Undertaker's or below it?
Below it. Okay. Below it.
What's that?
Below it.
All right, give us something to fight about as when we get later.
I don't think historically it holds a lot of water anymore because there's been so many world champions, young, old. It's like
he's still the youngest.
Yeah, I think he might be actually, but
so a little bit historical.
But I think when you think SummerSlams, you think Taker. The other infamous thing with that Benoit match, and I actually have the DVD copy. I think Scott does too. They pressed that DVD, and there's no sound in the main event. There was a copy that they had to rerun them all and push them, and like some people got it, and I have it, where the sound is lost. So the whole main event is dead quiet, with no audio. It's like an anomaly DVD.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, or maybe it's like the second half of the match. It's not the whole match, but it's an interesting, weird like quirk that they pressed and then they had to rerun them all. Anyway, all right. So let's go. This is one that Benzani today said, "Better be number one, or I don't know what you're doing." And I'm going to argue that there's a case, there's a chance, because I do think when you think SummerSlam,
it's the first one, Justin, too.
It's the first SummerSlam. There's multiple great moments on the SummerSlam, but this is really one that, sticks out big time.
Did you put the picture up?
I'm going to do it right now.
There we go.
And that is right here, the coming of age for many young wrestling fan. And that is Miss Elizabeth stripping down to her bikini bottoms in the Mega Powers Mega Bucks match at the height of the Mega Powers team. Right after this, they start to come down the hill a little bit as friends. But in this moment, they're united as one. And Liz is just as big a part as the crew as the other two at this moment, right? I'm sure millions of wrestling fans paused and wore out that tape when she rips off that bikini bottoms and walks across the apron, and DiBiase's face is iconic. Andre, like this guy doesn't give a shit about anything or anyone besides kicking the crap out of Hogan. Ooh. He's stunned. He's like, "Whoa, what's this?" And it's also at a time where women in wrestling weren't really sexualized, right? Like we had, old women in bathing suits. Like I guess the closest is probably like Wendy Richter with
Wendy Richter, but she wasn't. She was presented
more glam. Her and Cyndi Lauper. That was a glam, like teen Tiger Beat or whatever. Right? That was more that than like this fucking hot, beautiful woman in her underwear walking around. So it was like a big thing. And I wasn't watching at this point, but even I like knew of this in my periphery. Like I heard about it and knew what the moment was. So
it's interesting too, because she's not presented as like a hot sex symbol. She's presented as the housewife, wholesome, classy. Yeah. So it's definitely,
she's your first lady. She's your, whatever, like, the Mrs. President, right? Like that's her. Like she's meant to be a classy lady, not
someone to look up to, right?
She's not a playboy, right? Like she's running the she's running the nonprofit, right? Like that's her, right? She's doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Sable says, "Hold my beer." 10 years later, right? But where would you put? Who pitched this? Was it Savage's idea, or they pitch it to Savage? Like what?
They pitched this to Savage.
What do you
I haven't listened to like Bruce on any of this stuff really. I'm not like a fan of those with Conrad and all that. I don't know if he's talked about it. It feels like a Bruce and Vince idea.
Okay, yeah. You think how much convincing does it take the Macho to do this?
I don't know. Let me looking at you. I think he was all in. Savage is a pro. I think he was okay with it.
Yeah, but like the wrestler, the businessman is okay with it, but the dude, I don't know, man. Like he's a very insecure.
Yeah, but she had done bathing suit pictures in the magazine and stuff, like again, classy ones. But
yeah, but she's in the middle of Madison Square Garden on the pay-per-view. Yeah, it's cool. It's buzzworthy for sure. So
it's our number one. To me, it's easily number one right now. I think it's
right now. Yes,
I think it's super memorable, and everyone remembers it. Like, I think it's one of those things. If you say SummerSlam and Miss, like everyone's like, "Oh yeah, she ripped off the skirt," right? Like, I think Ben has a point, right?
Yeah, it's just not important, but it's awesome. All right,
it kind of like. To me, if you talk about the WrestleMania 1 main event, like we always talk about where that ranks, and we had it fairly high on our moments on our matches list, right? We talk about WrestleMania 1 and what that means historically. It's the first SummerSlam. It's an MSG. It's a huge tag match with like the 4 biggest stars in the promotion.
Yep.
And it's this icon, Queen of the Ring, stripping. Like I do think it's pretty important actually, because I don't like it gives SummerSlam
top 10, top 5. Yeah. We'll see, for sure. It's number 1 for now all day.
All right.
Hold on. It's not what? It's not.
No, I don't think it's. There's another one from the show that's probably.
Oh, better. Is that a 1? Okay, yeah.
I think right there's another one probably from the show that's higher, but it's gonna be close. All right, let's go to 2014. This to me is another iconic one that's gonna be up there, and that is Suplex City, bitch.
Biggest story ever told. You didn't even fucking mention it in your fucking article. Whatever. Continue.
I defended you, Steve. This better be a shot at Ryder, not me. This is I said it's super important.
Important. All right, shut the fuck up. All right, go.
I'm not getting involved in your lover's quarrel. All right, so listen, 2014 Suplex City, bitch. One of the most cathartic matches of all time. It's up there with Cena and RVD. And there's others that are up there as well. But this one was just completely out of left field. Because I feel like they talk about it quite a bit, or fans would always say, like, give us a squash, give us something different. Like, we talk about like Triple H and Roman at 2016. Like, and this actually did it. It was like broke formula. Brock just comes out and kicks the fucking shit out of John Cena. And it also makes the streak ending loom bigger as well, because
an explanation point on it for sure.
Brock hadn't been handled the best leading into that show, and he beats Taker, and you're like, okay, they're not going with a young guy, they're giving it to Brock. So then him coming out and stomping the shit out of Cena a few months later for the title, his first title in forever, and no one dog walked Cena like that for years. I mean, nobody. So like for him to just get his brakes blown off by Brock, and the crowd is losing their shit, was like, I remember watching it at Boneheads, and you keep waiting for Cena to come back and pin him. Like,
yeah, because that's the story of John Cena.
And they did it Extreme Rules, right? Brock kicks the shit out of him in his return match, and then Cena gets the FU for the win or whatever. So you're kind of waiting for, okay, it's gonna be, Cena must pose, right? But no, Brock just kicks the shit out of him and takes the belt.
Yeah, it's super impactful. It should be high. Do you have a timestamp on this match, by the way? I meant to have it ready in the holster, but it can't be any more than 12 minutes. And a lot of it is just a slow, methodical beatdown, but it's not boring. It works. It's intense. There's a lot of intensity in that beatdown, and it's massive because Super Cena, you felt, is going to arrive at any minute, and he doesn't. And honestly, this is kind of the end of Cena's run as like a main event guy.
Yeah, because by the next year he's in the U.S. title picture, and then from there. But it was a big moment. All right, Bennett's got a few.
We'll get back to that. Do this one.
All right. Here we go. He is talking about it. First round knockout boxing. And I love it. It's what they do to a Goldberg and Brock at Survivor Series 16. I remember going to war on that match, and it was one of the last online fights I think I had before I tapped out on doing that shit. I like that sudden out of nowhere. Like sometimes it's going to happen. You're just going to get caught and knocked out, whether it's boxing, UFC, whatever it is. That's why I really like that. I was like, holy shit, he just had his number that night and kicked the crap out of him.
I think we all suspected Brock to win too, especially coming out of WrestleMania 30. But the impact of how it happened, like sometimes I think Paul Heyman gets a little bit too in the weeds. I think that night it was a perfect presentation of Brock Lesnar, right? Yep. So I don't know. I would have this pretty high continuously. Like I'd have it easily above Virgil. And then what would you think is more important, this or crowning Brock?
Above O2. It's the second most. It's way more memorable than Brock and Rock. Because Cena's like Rock was leaving anyway.
Rock was leaving anyway.
16-5. Rock was leaving. Rock was leaving in 02. So like, and you kind of knew it. You kind of knew they were passing the torch. This is like you kind of knew Brock was going to win, but you weren't sure. And to just murder, like he didn't murder the Rock. I mean, that was like a competitive match and he beats him. This was like a straight up fucking destruction of your top babyface. Like they did not do this ever.
I cannot believe that 16-minute match. I cannot believe it. It doesn't feel like it, but it doesn't feel drawn out whatsoever. It feels like I think you're so in the moment in that match that the 16 minutes just you're in present time.
Yeah, and it's not boring at all. No. And Jeremy, I see your other comment, but we're going to save that for later because obviously we're getting to that. All right, I would have this number 2 right now behind Liz. All right, let's go to 1996. We have the turn of Paul Bearer. It's kind of a couple moments here because you have like the first Boiler Room Brawl, which is like becomes kind of a staple match, but not as much as you may think. But it's the second, match between Taker and Mankind after Mankind beat him at King of the Ring, the big upset. Bearer accidentally hit Taker at King of the Ring. That kind of plays into this. But this is a really like infamous moment because they had Bearer and Taker been together for 5.5 years.
Yeah.
One and only, right? The two of them. And then you never really thought he'd turn. And it helps Mankind so much. Like, and Mankind helps Taker a lot. Like this feud is iconic for the two of them for a reason. And I think this turn is a big part of it. Like, I think if Bearer doesn't turn, I don't know if it like continues to have the same impact as it had, because this is like Taker finally becoming mortal, right? He loses his best friend. This guy's beating him twice. Like it's like chinks that he hadn't had really, in his armor previously. So the match is good, but the moment is pretty infamous. Like him on his knees, he goes to the urn, and then Taker and Bearer just hits him and does this little smirk, and then Mankind beats him. So
yeah, and then it would lead to the stuff a year later with Kane and your mama and the history of the Undertaker and all that, the funeral parlor, the fire, your dad, there's a drunk, so on and so forth. So all that crux from this night. It's important, but where would you kind of have it on this list? I don't know where I would. I don't feel this list yet, Justin.
Yeah, you're right. There's kind of like a bunch of random moments that there's not a flow to.
Like, is it important as Virgil?
I think it's above Virgil, because I think the story means more long term. Like Virgil's done within months of that. Like Virgil loses the $1 million belt back on the Survivor Series showdown, and then he's a jobber. So like it doesn't really go anywhere. It's just kind of in the moment, exciting.
The Brock match is much better, but it's just like.
But I think the moment, the Bearer, like Brock is going to be a superstar without that match or with it. Like to me, it helps. But you could have had Brock win the next month or something. Like he was going to be a fucking star no matter what. Like this Bearer turn is like a seminal SummerSlam moment. I don't think I'd have it above Brock and Cena.
No.
But I could see it above O2.
Go above it. I'm fine with that for now. I got to get a better feeling.
Yeah, let's put it above for now. I just think it's more like when we do these lists, I try and get the vibe of like a SummerSlam moment. And like when I think SummerSlam moments, I just think that Boiler Room Brawl over Brock Rock. Not as a match, but as a moment.
Yep.
All right, Ron, I got some bad news. We're headed to 2010 as the Nexus is on the scene. We debated including this one because it's, again, more the match, but it's like, it was a really big story during a real doldrum time. Like, I'm on record that Mania 26 and 27 is probably the worst you know, outside of pandemic, it's probably like the worst 12-month stretch in company history, at least modern era.
At least the pandemic had decent stories and big stars. This had
it did. You're right. You could argue pandemic's better, right? It's just not having the fans hurts it. But like the TV was so boring. The pay-per-views are not good.
They were not ready for the transition into the new era. They were clamming on to the ruthless aggression, what was kind of low-key clamming on to the attitude era in a way. Taker's gone full-time. HBK retires. Triple H has gone full-time. But
they got no one
retires.
Right.
You know,
and they got nothing. The mid-card, all those guys that should have ascended in the late 2000s never hit. Morrison, Kennedy.
And then Cena is long here. We're sick of him, right?
Yep.
So
it's a rough stretch. It's
funny that we're sick of Cena because he wins the main event here. That's why we didn't want to include it.
Right. And that was awful at the time. So Nexus debuts. The debut is awesome. You know, chaotic. It was unlike anything we had seen. It pays off NXT, right? The original NXT, like really well. You get Bryan choking Justin Roberts. It gets fired right away. That's a great moment. But then this match is like interesting because all of a sudden you have these young guys that everyone's been dying for, like a youth infusion. Everyone had wanted that for so long.
Wade Barrett feels like a huge deal.
Yeah. And like you wanted this youth infusion. You needed it for years, and they finally do it. They put him in the main event of SummerSlam. You got Bret Hart in the match, which is like crazy in its own right, that he's like in this fucking 10-man at SummerSlam. Then you get the surprise return of Daniel Bryan. He joins Team WWF, right? Says the Nexus didn't stand by him and all this other stuff. So he's welcome back after the fan outrage that he got fired. So he's there. And then the Nexus, like they have a beat, like they DDT Cena on the floor. That should have been it. Roll him the ring and pin him.
Was important here, but it kind of kills the quality of the match, right? But I think we are underlining and not highlighting enough of the Daniel Bryan thing, right? He was gone. And then he returns. Pat Patterson, I think it's time to bring back that Bryan kid or whatever he said.
The crowd is, dying for him. They're calling for him. They're pissed, right? That they fired him.
Yeah, they gets fired on the day Eli was born. And I was sad.
Yeah, it was. Well, everything was so touchy over Benoit with, the way that happened. And then he is there choking this guy with his tie. Like, I think, and it was a funny moment. Like Roberts' face is really funny. But the end of the match definitely hurts it. Like Cena getting DDT'd on the floor, they should have pinned him and had a dominant win. And then you have Cena get his heat back later. But the way this completely killed their heat, like Cena just getting up and winning the match. And then Cena loses his job at Survivor Series and he's back like the next week. Like the whole thing is stupid. And they really botched what could have been red hot. Like they were dying for a red hot angle this time. They needed something. They had it drop in their lap and they shit on it.
Not to be a prisoner in the moment, but really out of these Nexus guys, who did they really drop the ball on? Wade Barrett? That's it?
Well, you don't know because they buried him on this night.
Yeah, but like Otanga, he stinks.
Yeah, but it was more the symbolism. It reminded me of like mid-2000, the symbolism of at Fully Loaded, right? When they job angle the Undertaker, Benoit and Jericho both lose. Like it felt like an FU to the fans, like who were dying for this young, and they had this red hot angle. Like, how does losing this match hurt John Cena?
No, it doesn't, but it's just like we're gonna go with these guys, but we got Barrett.
Even if it's only Barrett, even if it's only them supporting Barrett, it still would have been worth like have them beat Cena. Who cares? It doesn't mean anything. It's a 10-man
up for the finish, but if we're gonna be prisoners in that moment, it's like we got a bunch of rookies and none of them are any good besides Wade Barrett. Now, if they
they could have put where they end up going, where they put Punk with them and everything. Like, and there were rumors that Cole is going to be behind there. I mean, like, there was stuff going on that could have worked, that they could have used them to springboard something else while they figured it out, right? They could have had Punk or someone secretly behind it, right, to like get them on TV and do their bidding. Like, there was ways that could have went about it that were interesting. And I'm only saying because that era is so fucking boring and bland that this was actually something interesting that could have, even if no one makes it, it maybe at least makes that next 3 months of TV like better,
So we're saying because of the fallout in the finish, I still think the moment's like warranted. I'd have it above Orton and Undertaker, maybe. Like Bryan's return is off. Dude, that you want to talk about fucking terrible? That's fucking terrible, and it's never fucking talked about again. Bryan Lee should have fucking won, and the Undertaker should have died. You want to do that fucking gimmick? No, I already crashed out. We're at 12. All right. Anyways, I think if you wanted. I think it's above Orton, but
it's above Orton because the Orton thing doesn't really matter as much.
It doesn't matter as much, but
I just think that end like negates the
Brian
moment.
return matters. Like, if look what he goes on to do.
Right. Well, is that your moment? What's the moment here? We didn't really define the moment. Is Brian's return the moment? Or is it Brett? Or is it the end?
Whatever you want to make a case for. I wrote in parentheses at the end that Brian returns because it's a bit you have a bit of nostalgia. You better.
All right. If you want to go with Brian's surprise return, fine. Put it above Taker. That's fine. If it's Nexus going to war with WWE, that fart bombs because they ruined it.
It's like a culmination of all of that. This ain't Naked Gun 33 1/3.
All right. Let's go to a much more universally beloved moment, and that is 1991. You want to you want the finger? I'll give you the finger. It's the Mountie going to jail in a great moment. Here you go, Nichols. I'm with you. People remember that shit ending more than anything on the Nexus. This is an all-time moment. The feud is good stuff, right? With Mountie shocking Boss Man and setting up Jailbird versus the two battle of law enforcement, right? Boss Man is really at his peak here as far as overness in 91. Like, he is molten hot as a face coming off the Bobby Heenan feud. Just super tip top guy. And Mountie had been building up a nice little quiet run in 91, kind of working his way. He's a good
underlining heel. He really is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He has a good, he slowly works his way up in 91 and then gets his way into the IC title mix at the end of the year. And then, so the match is fine. It's like a 2 3/4 match. The ending is good with the Alabama slam from Boss Man. But then we get like some of the best vignettes that really helped carry, a lot of the weight in 91. This was a great show. Mountie getting dragged off to jail. And it's funny because Mountie earlier in the night does a promo, right, with the cops. And he's, he is talking about how to treat Boss Man. You better not go easy, right? So then they do that same treatment to him. He gets loaded in the paddy wagon. He does the middle finger. And then at the end of the night, we get the final one with him, with the guy in the leather, shows up and is like,
hey, whatever he says. Yeah.
So
it really is fun. It's a thumbnail for a reason. I don't know how important it is. It's just more of our, it's just awesome. It's I don't know. It's what you think of on a loaded SummerSlam. You have the best match of the early 90s with Brett, right? In Perfect. But other than Stu, what's the moment there? Yeah, Brett winning, but he would go on to win bigger titles and have bigger moments and whatnot, right? But that's a 4 3/4 5-star classic regardless. So could that be a moment? Sure. But it's the little 91's so great because it has the little undercard moments which makes it an all-time top 3, top 5 SummerSlam on anyone's list. Should be anyways, right? So, and this is just a part of that. I love the moment. I just don't know where to rank it. I don't want to go crazy, but it's
probably toward the bottom, but it's super memorable. And yeah, I agree. I mean, Bennett's clamoring in the comments about Brett, but it's like, I don't know. Well, I guess we just looked at that more as the match. Yeah. Could the Sharpshooter ending Perfect's run and winning the IC belt? Yes, probably. We had a cap it somewhere. I don't know. Like, it's up there for sure. I don't know.
It's a top 5 match in SummerSlam history. I think the WWE just had it at 3. So absolutely. But then if we're going to take that match quality, then why aren't we taking the 2 awesome matches from 19 or from 13, right?
Well, I mean, I get his point. It's Brett tapping Perfect out for his first.
This is a fucking Brett mark. And the fucking WWE ended in 1993. That's what it is.
I think he goes to 98. But the I don't know. I just think the jail moments are just very.
It's fun. It's super fun. It's the first thing I remember pay-per-view wise. It's fun. It's just not that important. Like, I don't know how to weigh it.
Right. Yeah, I think it's.
Is it good here? Or we can figure.
I'd have it after Taker because I think they're similar.
Yeah, that's true. Undertaker probably means more.
Yeah. If anything, I would have Brett winning over Orton winning. Like I would take that off of Brett over Mountie in jail.
Well, it's not like I asked you, but you said no. So, anyways, continue.
You asked me that specifically?
Yeah, I said, don't we think we should put Brett in there? And you said, no, it's a great match.
Yeah, all right. Whatever. All right, 2021. We're going to go to Vegas for this one. Becky Lynch's surprise return to squash Bianca Belair. This one was kind of divisive at the time, right? Because everyone was kind of on the Bianca train coming off the Mania match with Sasha, very into her. did a lot of good work during the pandemic. And then Becky comes out as a surprise opponent and just beats her in like 5 seconds. I think people were more upset, less about Bianca jobbing. I think more about like not having a match. Like I think that was
It was
more.
really weird. So
Yeah.
Sasha is not around because of COVID or contract or some other bullshit. They give you Carmella, who's been shoved down our face, and then you get the pause. And we were both there, Justin. First, I think we just met in person for the first time right before that, right? So we're in the suite, and it's a massive reaction. It truly is a massive reaction.
And I think part of that was everyone's excited for a great match. They're thinking we're getting Becky and Bianca going to tear the fucking house down now with a match.
And she has been gone since 14, 15 months. Going to have the baby. And is she back early? I don't know. I'm not sure. But
I think a little bit. I don't think she was rumored to be back. So
no, definitely no. And this is the weekend where Punk returns too, right? So SummerSlam 2021, they give you this Becky moment, and then they kind of steal the weekend with the Brock return too.
Yeah.
So we just didn't want so much Brock on this list, but that honorable mention too.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Match, for sure. So, but in comparison, this one in the moment felt a little bit more bigger.
Right? I think it felt like kneecapping Bianca a little bit.
The match too, like that 21 seconds is like crazy.
Yeah. I think it brought up some bad memories of like Brock squashing Kofi on SmackDown as well. Like a little bit of that, right? Was mixed in, I think. It was like
before that,
yeah, it was kind of similar. Like, okay, like,
the Becky thing?
Yeah.
Well, I think you just, because you're coming off the high of the return.
No, I know. I think Becky squashing her and taking the belt was like, oh, of course Becky's back. She's going to be champion. And it felt very much like, of course Brock is back. He's going to squash Kofi. Like, it felt like they felt similar. I think there's still lingering feelings from that here when it happened.
It just felt so sudden that you were like, then the finish is there. It's just a flash.
And it takes a good match off the card. Like, it would have been
Well, I think it's an excellent story leading into 38. I really wouldn't change it.
And they make up for it. But in the moment, you're not thinking that. You're not thinking, oh, Bianca will get it back at Mania and that'll be it. Like, you're thinking, all right, she just held the belt.
This is her first loss too after being champ too.
Yeah, and like everyone's excited for maybe a Sasha rematch. Like that match was great at Mania. It just felt like one less great match on this card. Which honestly, I'll be honest, I don't think I've watched the show since we were there live. So I probably due to check it out. But it's like I don't remember a ton of great on the card. I don't remember Roman Cena at all.
3 3/4. Being generous.
Yeah, I mean I was in a rough. It's actually
you have your Achilles.
Tomorrow's the 4-year anniversary of my torn Achilles, and that show was like whatever a month after. So there you go.
All right, I would say I'm probably gonna be.
I think it's at the bottom. I just don't think it means anything.
Nuts.
I think it was more angry than anything else.
No.
All right, well, put it versus Bryan. How would you stack it with that? 2 big returns.
I was going to put it right under the Nexus, but I think it's a better result than the Nexus. That Becky Bianca storyline is really good.
All right, put it above Nexus then.
I don't think it's bottom. I think it's legit.
All right, I was kind of reacting more to like everyone being pissed about it, but fine.
But I don't think they were pissed in the fall. I guess whatever. I think you're really.
We were definitely pissed in the moment. But again, I think it was more that we lost. Like we didn't get the match. I think it was more like, oh, this sucks. Like it was a squash of Bianca, Brandon, or both Edge and Seth.
Yeah, Brandon Janu. It was incredible. It was 4. I think it was the match of the night. But it's their worst of the 3. The MSG one's better, and the Hell in a Cell is great.
All right.
That's a really good feud, by the way. Edge and Seth. It's underrated.
All right. Let's head to 2005. Shawn Michaels taking on Hulk Hogan. This is the dream match that no one ever thought we'd really see. I don't think it was high on the list of Hogan dream opponents at the time. You weren't really thinking of this one as like
It's cool though. Yeah.
It ends up being great. But I'm saying when you're looking at the Hogan opponents when he comes back in 2002, you're not really thinking Shawn. You're thinking Austin. You're thinking Rock, eventually Cena, like or even Big Show was rumored, right, to recreate the Andre thing. Like you're not really just thinking Hogan, Shawn. Like it didn't seem like they ever really crossed paths in a way.
Shawn's a tag guy when Hogan's around.
The most you had a shot was like King of the Ring '93, where Shawn says Hogan go down south to the other dinosaurs after he loses to Yoko. And then I know DX takes shots or whatever, right, in '97, but like. This ended up being kind of like out of nowhere. So they tag, right? Sean super kicks him, turns on him, and then
Manchester,
just
New Hampshire, baby. They have the
that's the
match.
tag match, right? That's the and then they fight again. They have a tag on 4th of July, and
4th of July.
That's where he super kicks him. And then it just Sean taps into DX Shaw 97 and just goes on a fucking rampage.
The Larry King skits are incredible.
Oh, fantastic stuff. He just goes on a rampage, and then the Montreal with Tease and Brett is phenomenal stuff.
How he's like 97 Shawn, like you said, DX Shawn. Like, how good is Shawn Michaels? Like, let's
what he wants to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing stuff. And then you get the match, which again I think is divisive because it is Sean in pure pinballing, overselling, going fucking nuts. Like, you know, where I see some people's point where it just takes you out of it because it's so insane.
A little bit.
But it also brings you back to like the 80s of just like over the top Hogan throwing this fucking guy around. He's bouncing.
You know what it is?
Mr. Perfect at his best.
It felt like a Saturday Night's main event match,
yeah,
instead of a SummerSlam main event.
And then, you know, Sean selling the leg drop, you know, like at the end is laying there. And then the next night, Sean completely, you know, comes out, shits on Hogan, and then fuses Chris Masters like nothing ever happened. So like,
yeah, now he's back being a babyface in this.
Yeah, well, because he's pissed, right, that Hogan won't give him the job back, and he, you know, comes out and shits on it, and then he just turns face and he's back to normal. But I'm a truther on this match. The pinballing doesn't bother me. I think it's super fun. I think it's insane. I think it shows just how good of a performer Sean is that he can like go out and have this match.
Yeah.
It's a real broomstick match. I mean, Hogan's gravitas carries his end of it, but like, you know, Sean is like just like in his fucking bag in this match. I think it's one of his best performances because it's so insane and so high energy. Like instead of doing the WrestleMania 11 where he sandbags Diesel, right? He goes the other way where he's like, I'm just going to act like a fucking maniac in this match and steal the show. And that's what he does. Like, it's all about him. And then, you know, Hogan just takes a beating at the end and then goes over. But
that's what I didn't like about it. Like he just, at the end, it's like he has this big comeback and then he sells his ass off, bumps his ass off, and then it's a boot and then it's a dead. And then he's just like, all right, I'm going home now. If he a little too cartoonish, just give me a little less like. And I love
it's so different though. It's so different, you know.
Like
we love you too, Ish, by the way. Ish in here, we love you.
I know. Give me a little more organic, Sean, not showman, Sean. Like show up, Sean. Be showman, not a show up.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
That's another great SummerSlam, by the way. Though that's up there on the SummerSlam.
Yeah, JBL Takers is sneaky good. Cena Jericho is sneaky good. And then what's
Edge and Hardy? I love Edge and Hardy.
Yeah. And there's an undercard match that's really good too.
Well, Ray and Eddie.
Yeah, So
yeah,
I don't know. Where would you put this? I still don't have a feel. Like, do you want to go what Lesnar next big thing? Like, where do you like? If it doesn't feel top 5, but
I think it's above Virgil. I think it's such a memorable main. It's probably one of the most memorable main events in SummerSlam history.
I'm fine with that.
That's just a super memorable SummerSlam. Like the Fat Joe Get a Poppin' song, like everyone remembers that song. It's like a stacked up card. What was the opener? The opener is good too. Is it
wasn't it Benoit? Was that the Benoit squash?
Oh, that's where he squashes OJ. Yeah, that was good too, where he taps out Jordan. That's fun.
Instantly.
Yeah, so it makes up for the shitbag match at Great American Bash. All right, this is gonna be an interesting one to rank. We're going 1997.
Yeah.
It is Owen Hart breaking Steve Austin's neck with the pile driver. Austin ends up winning the IC belt and then eventually leads the end of his career, right? Because it messes his neck up so bad that he'd have chronic problems from then. Who knows what would have happened? Aaron and I have talked hours on what ifs about, Austin, if he stays around, what changes. I remember watching live. It was like a weird mix of it's a work with despair. Like, oh my God. Like, I think what really resonates, like him laying there, you kind of think, okay, it's a work. But that pin is what makes it feel real because it's the worst pin of all time. Owen is like he barely gets his legs up on the pin. And they make it a great angle. You know what I mean? Like it's, leads to Owen 316 has broke your neck. It leads to him having to do, all the stuff off out of the ring. He stuns McMahon. Like all that shit comes off of this. And Bennett's right. Like it's probably the most impactful moment on the list because it almost killed this golden goose that they stumbled into before.
They don't have the depth right?
No, they got
Right.
none. Like if he's gone, what do you gotta hope Sean and DX holds hot, and Brett probably stays. Like,
Yeah.
like they may not run him out if Austin's cooked here. Like if they say his career's over and he needs neck surgery, like
Rock's not ready whatsoever.
no,
Right.
no. I think Brett stays, and him and Sean probably go face heel. I think Brett turns back face going into Mania probably.
So what does he just fuse it and kind of rehabs it?
No, he has no surgery. He has none. He just comes back in November. He rehabs for like 3 months. He wrestles at Survivor Series.
Obviously,
And then,
it cuts his career way short, right?
oh yeah, because he goes hard until fall of '99, when it finally, then he's got to have the surgery. He's out for a year, and then he goes balls to the wall in '01, and then it finally gives out again, and that's it. So it's really impactful. It's a memorable moment, and it's, it's interesting because Austin never really forgives him. They talk about that, or like right up to, and
They
even
never called him.
even on the Owen memorial show, like remember he comes out with the beer at the end, and like people were kind of like felt insincere because he never really forgave him, and they don't have him talk. He just toasts him at the end of the show.
Wasn't that much of a loss, guys. Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was kind of like it was, and Owen did fuck it up. Like Austin even said, I don't want to take it that way, right? He said, like, go forward on your knees or whatever for the tombstone. And Owen's like, no, I'll do it this way, right? And you can see his head is too low. So, and I say it also is Val to never forgive him, but like,
am I misremembering that Owen never kind of said I'm sorry or reached
that's the
out?
story, is that he never really called and like apologized, and that's why Austin was super pissed. Like that, plus injuring him during his, when he finally was breaking out.
Yeah. He's been a journeyman for 7, 8, 9 years now,
right.
and he finally starting to catch his break.
Yeah, Steve confirmed it. Owen never apologized. We'll be covering this on Wrestling Warzone. Me and Chad, we're getting to this build into this match, so we'll be covering it in depth. I think it's number one right now over Liz. I think the impact, it's a memorable moment. It's on a red hot SummerSlam. The what ifs that come out of that moment are like insane.
I'm good with it.
Yeah. And again, it leads to like hot stuff. Like it's on one hand, it ends his career prematurely, but on the other hand, I don't know if you get the other hot stuff if he doesn't get injured, right? Like, do you get him stunning McMahon? Do you get him becoming a brawler that leads to all those great brawls in the Attitude Era? Like, I don't know where it goes. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure what happens if it doesn't happen, but like him stunning McMahon comes out of it, and that's the most like seminal moment of this build. Is him MSG.
It really is the crux of Austin versus McMahon,
Right.
because it's like, you need to go away, Steve. You need to rest, and then that's what starts the rebellious nation, and really gives McMahon kind of gusto to sink his teeth into. So yeah, no doubt. All right, I did put levity after this one on purpose.
Yeah, and this is a fun one. It's probably on the Sapphire Mountie level, but fuck it, we need it. Because I think it's a meme one. It's one you always hear of, you think of. It becomes a thing. Like you see the GIF and the clip everywhere. And that's SummerSlam '89. It's not on the edited copy. You need the original airing, but it's the SummerSlam, and it's a rare gaffe during a time where their production is so good. You don't often see this stuff like air, where the SummerSlam sign falls, and Gene just says "fuck it" on pay-per-view during the interview.
Bobby's like, "What?"
Yeah, it's classic. It's at the bottom. Who cares? But it's such a memorable moment on an all-time SummerSlam. Like '89 is fantastic, but there's not a lot of moments on '89. Like I don't.
No, it's just like they're culminating of a lot of stuff, and they're transitioning.
The other biggest moment is probably Piper mooning Rude, and Warrior winning the IC belt or whatever. But
he already had it, and
maybe them hitting Zeus with the purse or whatever. I guess that's probably up there. But
yeah, you would think '88's wins a little bit more.
Oh, actually, we whiffed on one. There's a big one from '89 we didn't put.
What?
Ronnie Garvin's introductions to Greg Valentine. He's got 2 left feet.
Yeah, we'll have to put the Hands of Stone can do that one.
That should have been on there. All right, it's at the bottom, but whatever. We needed it. It's like I said, it's one of the big meme ones. All right, let's go to 2020. We're in the Thunderdome. We have Roman Reigns' big return at the end of the show, and it's important because it kicks off his iconic run as a heel. Coming off of this, it kicks off the bloodline, right? His stuff with the Usos comes off of this, and then he's off and running. Yeah,
Justin, you could say that it's one of the most important things on this list. Look at the last 5 to 6 years. It's in a Thunderdome, so it is a little like lower, but this is the first event in a Thunderdome, so the interactions feel a little bit more real, because you got people on the screens. There's a little bit more buzz because the Thunderdome is a brand new thing. And you're kind of like, why is Braun Strowman and Wyatt, this SmackDown feud that's terrible, is main eventing SummerSlam? And then you kind of find out here why. So yeah, they're out of the pandemic. They're out of the wrestlers being the crowd. They got the screens gimmick going on. This is the introduction to that. And then Roman Reigns is back, and this would lead to monster business. Now, since there's a 20 in front of it, you're going to probably be like, oh, it's under.
No, it's a big moment. It launches the bloodline, which is a major storyline.
It's number 3 right now for me. Probably it's really number 2, but I'm not.
It's an era I don't have a lot of connection to. Like, I couldn't tell you where it goes right from here, but I know it's important.
Well, Paul Heyman's sitting right next to him on the couch the Friday after. And then they have a pay-per-view the week after so Roman can win the belt. Right. So they're kind of going by the seat of their own pants, and it's Roman Reigns season instantly.
Now, me personally, I'm not putting it above Liz, but I'm not going to argue with you if you really feel like it needs to be above Liz. I just think Liz, that first SummerSlam.
We'll see what it looks like.
I think for now, like, that stays.
Yeah.
All right, we have the next one I panicked for a minute because I read it and I read RKO's Del Rio for some reason, and I'm like, did we miss Orton cashing him? And no, we have it. It's 2013. Randy Orton cashing in Money in the Bank. I thought it said Del Rio. I read real fast.
My labeling in streamer, yeah.
2013, Randy Orton cashes in. It's Triple H's heel turn as the Authority. Comes off a 5-star match. We just covered this on War with Daniel Bryan defeating John Cena to finally, climb the mountain and win the WWE title. And then Orton cashes in Money in the Bank. Triple H pedigrees Bryan. From there, it gets wonky with the Authority being upset at Orton the whole time, even though he's their chosen one. Bryan, they have like 4 more matches that are all kind of mid. But in that moment, it's a really cool. Like, I remember being shocked when it happened. It's like Bryan finally climbs, and it's a good FU. If the plan was for Bryan to beat Orton at Mania, it's a good start, right? It's like, okay, this starts the build to Mania. That was not the plan, so it's hard to give them the full credit. But in the moment, it was super shocking. Like, Triple H had kind of been milquetoasty as like the CEO at that point, right? It had kind of just been.
Yeah, he's got some punk stink on him, like with the smarks and whatever. Yeah. And is he a face? Is he a heel? Like, he's kind of going back and forth as a character, his presentation. And then, like, I've brought this up, it's a top 3 SummerSlam for anyone. And you get the 2 5-star matches, you get the Christian and the RKO match. It's fantastic. So
I think I have it below Bearer right now. I just think the Taker Bearer Mankind thing means more long term. Like, again, this is a great.
In the moment, this is a better moment of the night.
The Bearer turn is great. Like, that was like a real shocking moment. Like, that's a big deal. There was more there. Like, this is like, you expect Triple H to be an asshole. You knew Orton was going to cash in at some point. Like, it's shocking. Like, it's still high for me. I just think Bearer Taker has so much history behind it. And you never thought that someone would own the Undertaker. No one had ever done it. And like, you never thought Bearer would abandon him and go with some other character. Like, it was just such a shock after all that history together.
I think we're showing our age. I think 13's above it, but I'm fine for now.
No, weigh in the comment. Oh, we get a couple comments to see if anyone's weighing in.
13 versus 96.
Yeah, let us know. Nichols is reminiscing with the Thunder. Him and John Hollywood, the only people that care about the Thunderdome. And Brandon says, Jay and Roman started the feud. But yeah, let us know. Let us know in the comments which one you'd have higher.
All right, this is a heavy one, Justin.
Yeah, it is. This is an interesting one. It is the Match Made in Heaven portion of 1991, and that is the wedding, the nuptials of the Macho Man Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth.
Beautiful theme song, by the way. Blaring.
Together, you and me forever. So the whole pay-per-view is sold on
the Match Made in Hell.
Match Made in Heaven, Match Made in Hell, right? Like, that's the whole crux of the show. Like, so, and we always talk Mega Powers. We talk Austin McMahon. We talk Bloodline. The story of Savage and Liz is also one of the greatest stories of all time. Like,
85 through 91. Really,
you think of where they start, where it evolves, all these key points, right? You have him abusing verbally Liz. You got the George Steele stuff. You got Steamboat. Then you go to the Mega Powers. You go to her, going with Hogan.
Just skip the Mega Powers part. Continue.
You go to WrestleMania 6 with the mixed tag. right? Then you go to WrestleMania 7, and then off of this starts the Jake angle, which is amazing stuff coming out of this.
I love it.
And that's part of this moment, right? Because you get the wedding, then you get the reception that it doesn't air on the pay-per-view. I think it airs on the Coliseum video and then on like primetime or whatever. Where the snake comes out of the box, Taker and Jake fuck up the reception, and then that kicks off an incredible one of Macho Man's best feuds
in Texas,
with Jake Roberts, right? So I think this is high. I think it's,
I think it's above Roman, above Lesnar of that area.
Let's rank Liz moments. Stripping down versus the wedding.
Well, there's more juice in the wedding, but if you guys want to say fallout, I think the wedding. I like the wedding better because you have more.
The only thing you can say is the wedding itself kind of sucks. Like, like the wedding itself is boring. Then nothing happens. It's not even an angle. It's legit like a
ancillary things around it. Is like you got Sid, you got fucking Jake, you got Undertaker, you got Paul Bear.
Yeah, but that's not part of this moment. Like this moment is legit. It's like a vow renewal. like there's no angle in the arena that night. Like nothing happens on that pay-per-view in that moment. So I think it's important. It's just a fucking wedding. Like there's not even any, like if Jake came out during the wedding and did it, it'd be like, that would be the moment to me. It's more the reception, which really doesn't happen at SummerSlam. So I have it high. I'm with Bennett. I think the stripping down is more important.
Yeah. The way the reception happened, what they show that on primetime?
It's on the Coliseum release, and then they show it on TV. So you don't see, if you're watching the pay-per-view, you don't see it. It goes off the air with them celebrating.
Yeah, but if you want to play like the fallout of WrestleMania 7, like I love WrestleMania 7, the fallout. All right, we can put it behind. What do you want to put it there? All right, you just tell me where to stop.
Put it behind Roman for now. I think it's a big deal because it's a culmination of a almost half a decade old story, and at least it's fun stuff. But to Bennett's point, my point, like the wedding itself is pretty boring, and but it means a lot, right? Because they main events their second biggest show of the year, with a wedding. Like it's crazy, like a legit wedding with no angle. Like it's kind of crazy when you think about it. You could argue they could have put it mid-show and just kept the ropes on the ring, you know what I mean, and like took an intermission after or something. But and then done. I wonder how it holds up if you do the wedding in the middle of the show, go to intermission, and then show the reception at the end, like live, like going into the main event or the main event. Because Sid comes back and saves her. So you could show Sid running, like maybe someone comes out and says, we need help. And it's Sid runs back and you see the snake or whatever. Might have meant something. But anyway, all right. So all that said, that's where we're at in the wedding. Let's go to 17 years later, 2008. This is one we almost forgot about, Ryan. We remembered last minute. Chris Jericho punching Shawn Michaels' wife. 08. 08's such a good year.
It's a sneaky great year.
Great stuff. It's right before they go into the PG doldrums, and the Jericho-Shawn feud and Jericho's rebirth character is like carries the year. Like, he's so lame when he comes back and everyone's checking out on him. And then he cuts that promo after Mania, and Batista's involved in that feud. Like, that's really good. The Batista part of it. Batista versus Shawn, right? He's mad that Shawn ended Flair's career, and Jericho with the truther stuff. And then you get this highlight reel. No match at SummerSlam, and you never see Shawn's wife. Like, she's never anywhere, right? And they had done the angle where he ran Shawn's eye into the Geritron and fucked his eye up, right? Yep. So to have his wife there is already a big deal. And then
he's going to retire, right? Yeah.
Right. And for Jericho to punch her and legit punch her, like her lip is all swollen. Like
he's not supposed to hit her.
Yeah. He doesn't really pull the punch. He cracks her with it. And it leads to some great matches after, like the unsanctioned match and the ladder match. And it propels Jericho back to being a world champion. Like, he was cooked kind of when he came back.
Yeah. He had the JBL doldrums, Money in the Bank doldrums. And then he kind of inserts some stuff. This is like ancillary stuff after the Flair too.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of puts himself in the Flair stuff with the Batista, and it all snowballs here. Not having Shawn on this pay-per-view is kind of interesting, but it shows the depth of 98, of 08 too, right? So
yeah, I think this is high. I think I'd have it probably in that Bear Orton bucket because it was like really a shock moment.
Yeah, we can split it real quick.
Yeah, because I think it doesn't have as much long-standing moment like Paul Bearer, but it's like similar to Orton. It like leads to like a really
I think the cash-in's better moment for
yeah, I
sure.
think that's fine right there.
Yeah.
Logan, of course, on the wedding, when nuptials turn to napalm. Great opening. All right, let's go to 1998. Speaking of napalm and hell and all that, we got the Highway to Hell. Again, this is more like kind of a vague moment.
Kind of the vibe. Like it's not even the best. It's not even it's a passable match, but the ladder match.
The concussion.
Yeah.
Really fucks it up. But when you think of the summer of 98, one of the hottest years, like the rebirth, you think Highway to Hell, right? Like, I mean,
Vince loves AC/DC.
over and over and over on TV, just endlessly. Like it's up there with My Way, years later, where they just play the shit out of it. And the vibe of having that show in MSG, it's like the rebirth of SummerSlam. Like the company's red hot all of a sudden. Undertaker and Austin are the two biggest stars. Like, I know in retrospect, it's like, oh, they fight a million fucking times and it's whatever. But like in that moment, they had only fought there once at Cold Day in Hell and maybe on a Raw in 96 or whatever. But like, this was like their two big guys. This is like Hogan Warrior for this generation. It's like they're two top stars. They're both mega over and they're on a, face, and they're on a collision course for this show. I actually think he gets overlooked gravity wise to what this match meant at that time. Like it was a big deal to have these guys fight on the second biggest show.
Yeah, because Taker didn't lose a lot. He was super protected, right? And it's a little bit disappointing in retrospect, but the result probably is going to hurt the moment, right? But it's really just the aura of the short entrances, the larger than life characters coming together in the main event, and the crowd and the hotness of Austin.
Yeah, I think it's near like Taker.
It's definitely. I'd put it. It's got to be above the Mountie. Like
yeah. But I think it's above Nexus.
TLC.
Yeah, I think it's above that because the build, that build is so good.
It's all right. You want to put it right under the stooging of Shawn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the build is such a big match, and like you get fully loaded with the tag titles. Yeah. It was. Yeah, I don't remember either. You get the tag title stuff at Fully Loaded. You get Taker dressing up as Kane. Remember that was awesome where he wins.
They made an action figure out of that. Yeah.
You get the Hell in a Cell on TV leading up to it, like, and all that stuff.
It was the handicap one.
Well, you get Kane Mankind. That's one. And then I think there's I don't know if it's Yeah, maybe it's I forget.
It's for an angle. It's not really a match. Right?
Yeah. But it's a red hot TV. Like that TV is insane leading up to that show. Everything's on fire. So, all right. Highway to Hell's in the books. Let's go to 2002. Shawn Michaels return match. Kind of the match you never thought you'd see. Like it really seemed like he was done, between the drug addiction, the back injury, him getting thrown out of WrestleMania 17. Like he has that one match in TWA with his trainee that he was kind of like, all right, this is probably it for him. And then you're like, all right, he's going to give it a go. And I felt like this could be one and done. Who knows if he's going to stay.
Mom calls Triple H to make sure he's all right. Yep.
And the match is fantastic, right? It's all focused on the back. They even give the out at the end where Triple H hits him with a sledgehammer in case they want to call it a career for him.
Gotta get his heat back, bro.
4 years, over 4 years, he's gone, like leading up to this. So I think this one's pretty high because it's a match and a moment. And both
and it sticks out on a fantastic SummerSlam as well. I think the performance is fantastic. It's you think it's better than what 6, 7? All right,
well, you got Reigns' return, right? This is Shawn's return. It's not a surprise. It's pretty well built.
You want me to just put it right above Jericho punching his wife, and we can revisit.
I think it's above the cash-in too. This is more important.
You're too low on that cash-in.
Yeah, but I like the cash-in a lot. But think about this leads to 8 more years of Shawn Michaels in the company. Like this showed he could still go. It convinced him to come back and wrestle. You know what I mean? Like it's a big moment, and the match delivers.
You ain't gonna It's probably one of Triple H's best matches.
Yeah.
Because Sean does all the work after being off for 4.5 years. Not all the work, but you know what I mean. The selling,
Right.
he does the psychology and the investment is through Sean's back, right?
All right. I got one question for you, Ryan. Is the British Bulldog going to win whether he wants to or not? We'll
I don't
find
know,
out
man,
here.
but I could take some of that fucking cocaine right now that he was on. Oh, how about I spell the British Bulldog right? Sorry.
Bulldog. 1992. We're going to Wembley Stadium. To me, I guess the moment would be Bulldog winning, like the pin
At
and
the
then
end,
the
Diana
celebrations.
celebrating the awesome match. They
Lennox
delivered.
Lewis, Brett, they're all in the ring. The entrance is great too, with him and Lennox Lewis coming out. The crowd, 80,000 just going insane.
Fucking the air horns, the whistles, all that shit.
Is Bulldog's peak moment.
Oh,
I mean, it's so good. Out of nowhere. I mean, he wasn't supposed to be in the match, right? It's supposed to be Brett and Sean at SummerSlam. And then they moved to Wembley and they put Bulldog in there because Bulldog wasn't doing anything. Like, he's not even on Mania. They cut the match. And then over the summer,
was he supposed to say Berserker? Was he supposed to face?
he's fighting Repo Man in the summer. Or was that the year before? I don't remember.
Berserker?
Yeah,
No,
Mania is Berserker.
Yeah.
They cut the match. I forget who he's feuding with in the summer. He's winning that 40-man battle royal they do
at Wembley City, at the Wembley Hall or whatever it is.
Yeah. They win. He wins that. No, that's the year before, the Royal Albert Hall. They do another one in the summer on primetime. And he wins that too. But like, he's not doing much else. Like, he's really just doing nothing. And then they announce it's in Wembley and suddenly he's fighting Brett. So I think this one's high because, again, it's similar, I think, to Sean, where the match is great and the moment's great. I think the crowd carries this one a ton. It's pretty iconic. Actually, I think it's similar to like Brock and Cena, where like the match and the moment are both big. I think it's above Bearer. I think it's a more memorable SummerSlam.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Let's move Macho.
We're going to go through this and revisit. It's in the neighborhood where we want to go.
Let's move Macho and Liz below it for now. Looking at this, I think
that's going to fall. I feel like that's going to fall.
I think Brock's above it, and I think Bulldog's above it.
All right.
Because the Hart family is like so ingrained in the company from 85 to 97. Like, they're the crux of so many stories and angles. Like, everything revolves around that family in the company for so many years. Like, and this is like another installment of it.
Yeah. So,
all right. We're going to go 30 years after that to 2022. That's Brock Lesnar and his tractor in Nashville. In the moment, this one kind of annoyed me.
Why?
Well,
because he was sitting next to Sean Kidd.
No, I was. I don't think I was. I think I was next to D'Amato for this one. But listen, don't get fucking sassy with me. I can have a take. It annoyed me in the moment because
Sean Kidd's probably gonna be a shit one. Continue.
Because this night, I don't think I was with Sean. This night, it was promised as like this big new era of a night of surprises, right? Vince retired, like, was that night, right? Wasn't it that day? The time to hang it up. Like, that tweet came out.
It was 3 years ago this week. So.
Yeah. And I think this SummerSlam was like July 30th or whatever. So it was either the day before or the day of, whatever it was.
Week of, say.
Yeah, I think it was the first July SummerSlam. And only, maybe. So Triple H is taking over. We're promised online it's going to be a night of big surprises. We start with Damage Control's debut. That's like crazy. Everyone's losing their shit. And then like nothing else happens. And I think they were hyping this as like the big surprise. And it's like, it's cool, but it felt like, man, I thought we were in for like a night of like craziness.
Oh, you played yourself. Like, that's
I know. I said I was annoyed in the moment. I'm telling you why. Yeah. I didn't say the moment sucked. I said I was annoyed in the moment at it. Yeah. I was also done with Brock and Roman. Like, they had fought. It
was on the 12th hole out of 11. Like,
they had fought so many fucking times. Like, it was like another Brock Roman match.
Yeah.
So it felt like, okay, I'm done with this.
Vince made this match, by the way. Triple H did not make this match.
Vince, right? Oh yeah, yeah, because he had already. Of course, the card was built. Like, so, but what was promised was that night would have like Triple H's touch, right? Like, and mixed in throughout the night.
This could have been his touch. Like,
sure, whatever. So Brock rides the tractor, and then it is memorable. Like, I remember people talking about it, but I heard talking about
awesome. It. I don't care.
Yeah. And then he lifts the ring with the tractor and all that stuff, right? So, it's different. It's cool. It's Country Boy Brock in Nashville.
It would lead into Brock, Cowboy Brock, which would be some awesome, So yeah. I'm pretty high on it. I don't think it's super important, but if it's, I would put it around Becky Lynch.
Yeah, I was gonna have it like near Virgil, so I think that makes sense.
All right, we can revisit it, right?
Yeah.
Should we put? All right, we're not gonna do the list yet. We'll do it. We got 2 more.
All right. Well, we got 2 real strong contenders left.
Yeah.
1988. We talk about Liz. This is the real best moment of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Honky comes out. He's supposed to fight Brutus Beefcake. Ron Bass cuts him up with the Spurs. Says he's gonna.
Holy shit!
Right, of all people.
Yeah.
He said, right. Ron Bass sets up like one of the most iconic angles of all time. Honky comes out, issues the open challenge. It's the Ultimate Warrior, brother. Right? Billy Graham, Warrior. Murks him in
Billy Graham.
30 seconds and kicks off his meteoric rise from here to being the world champion. The moment, it's a 5-star moment, a 5-star match, right? It's just like, it's such a great moment. You talk about catharsis of Brock destroying Cena. This to me goes near that and probably a little, maybe even higher, because you have Honky's, never ending IC reign where he.
Yeah, I was just going to add to that. He's been IC champion since Steve Bennett cried for the 8th time at a wrestling show in Buffalo.
Right. And we like, everyone's sick of him. He's, stealing matches left and right, escaping left and right. And this night it finally caught up to him and there's no escaping it. It's all the bullshit he pulled for the 13, 14 months before this.
Which is awesome. Builds up to this. Yeah.
Comes up in this moment and the crowd loses their shit. It's an MSG. It kicks off the rise of Warrior, becomes like one of the greatest of all time for them. Right. So, 2? Is 2 too high?
It's bigger than Liz and we can figure it out.
Okay. All right. So that leaves us with one more, which is also going to be high, and that's Bret the Hitman Hart defeating The Undertaker at SummerSlam, Heart and Soul. You got Shawn swinging the chair. Bret ducks, or Bret spits in his face. Shawn swings the chair, hits Taker. It leads to so much stuff, right? It leads to Montreal. It leads to Hell in a Cell. Leads to Kane, right? Like there's so much. It leads to DX. Like
leads to Shawn breaking his back. Yeah.
There's so much that comes out of this. The match is fantastic, and I remember even at the time when it happened, and Bennett, to say it's massive. And he says this is his first cry. This is a massive match, a massive moment. It's Bret's final, I think, great moment in the WWF, like ever. After that is kind of downhill quickly. Crowned as a 5-time. There were rumors at the time that part of Shawn's contract renewal stated he would refuse to work with Bret Hart in the ring in a match. And there were rumors that he was going to join the Hart Foundation and be a team. Yes, it was online at the time. Like, and this is the Wild West, right? This is 97 on the internet. Sushi X and all these fucking guys. But there was rumors at the time that he was going to join the Hart Foundation so they wouldn't wrestle. So that was the agreement, that they would work as a team to avoid them having to wrestle in the ring, because neither wanted to put the other one over and they refused to.
But they're going to be on screen the whole time together.
Yeah, because it's a story, but they weren't going to have to pick. They wouldn't have to pick who would win, right? Yeah. They wouldn't have to compete and have a match. So when he hits him with the chair, I remember me and my buddy Jim were watching this live on his box thinking, oh, fuck, this is so stupid. He's going to join the Hart Foundation. He helped Bret win, even if it was inadvertent. We're going to find out they're working together. I'm glad it did not go that way. Like, I'm glad it was a bullshit rumor.
Sounds like a terrible rumor, by the way.
We love you, Dom. Thank you. Shout out to the Honky Tonk Man. All that said, awesome match, super memorable moment. I think this goes way up the list. I would have this 3 right now, and then we'll have to debate our top 3.
We're gonna put it here, and in the night.
And now your argument of the 3 best SummerSlams. You look at 97; it's got 2 of the best moments of all time. 88, 2 of the best moments of all time.
Yeah, we might have a top five SummerSlam here.
Yeah.
I think we'll talk about it when we get up there, so we don't feel we've done it, right? All right. So me and Gene.
And now's the time. If you're watching on some of these like debates, weigh in quick on it. Like, should that be like what's number 1 for you? Some of these other ones that we were talking, like 96 and 13, like wherever it is, like get in now.
Yeah, fire off, guys. There's about 10 of you in the chat right now. Fire off, and we'll see where we're at. We'll see where we're at as we climb up. But let's start like we have, Justin. Me and Gene, fuck it. It's the least inconsequential. Yeah. It's last, right? It's just more for the levity and it's fun and whatever, right? So that's last. Orton as the youngest champion versus Mountie in jail.
Mountie to me is way more memorable. I think it's more Orton the match. Orton losing the title 3 weeks later and getting kicked out of Evolution to me is like take some of the steam off of that, and the fact that they only did it to erase Brock. I think. Well, I know we talked about it, right? He was probably going to win the world title anyway, but they definitely accelerated it to have him, be the youngest, get in before he turned older than Brock.
Yep. All right. So Mountie versus The Undertaker.
I think Taker's higher because they spend so much time on that angle, and it's Taker.
Yep, that's fine. I'm fine with that too as well. This is where, and then The Undertaker 21, or excuse me, 20. Yeah, The Undertaker at 23 we're good with, right?
Yeah.
Let me just
I would have it above Nexus, but I know for you like the Bryan return, so whatever, I'm fine with it. And then I think Becky's return is bigger than Bryan's return, probably, because you get the title change.
Yeah, because I think you don't understand how good the Bianca stuff is, and yeah, Bianca was a big star, but the Becky feud solidified her as a mega
star. Are they back in front of crowds after SummerSlam? They are, right? It was July they started leading up to SummerSlam. Like I know WrestleMania 37 is an aberration. They go back to the Thunderdome after that.
Yeah, they're on the road. They're on the road the Friday before. Yes, they are. The Friday before SummerSlam, they're on the road because they have Edge and the Mysterios versus the Bloodline.
Right. I think July they go back on tour.
Yeah.
It's like June or July. Anyway, all right.
All right, Brock all right, this is like a weird, because from Shawn and stooging up, we're fine, but like Highway to Hell is the most important out of all this stuff, or is the TLC most important? 15 through 19.
I'm going to have a little controversial take on the TLC. They essentially did one at WrestleMania 2000. Like, I know this is better as a match, but they kind of did already a ladders and tables match with stuff like. So it's the first, but it's kind of not. It's kind of in the middle of like the Mania matches. It's kind of forgotten. I think it's a little bit lost. So I think it's on the list, but I don't.
You want to put it below Becky? I always thought it was high, and I was going to bring that up when we got there, but you're kind of saying the same thing.
Yeah, I'd bring it down.
Well, all right, the Nexus is fine, whatever.
Yeah,
right?
Nexus is really nothing.
Tom versus Virgil. What do you think?
Virgil's a better moment. Like Dom's storylines. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't even say that for sure. Like I think the Virgil moment that whole storyline's great. That's years in the making. That started in '87. That story. That's the Virgil. You could argue the Virgil storyline is like the Savage Liz one. You know what I mean? Like it's like years of build with the abuse and everything else paying off in this moment.
All right. And then Brock versus Dom.
Dom. It's a better story. Brock's a moment.
Yeah, but it's the blow off. Say what you want about it, but whatever. All right. I
don't care that much. I'm fine either way.
And then Highway to Hell, is that 15 or is it going below any of the Dom, Brock stuff? This one's hard to kind of weigh.
I'm talking myself into Virgil going up. It seems crazy, but the storyline is so ingrained in WWF from '87 to '91. Like Virgil is DiBiase's
surprise, and fuck it, right?
The pop is incredible. The commentary is so good. It's like I don't know. Like it's.
I'm fine. All right, so 15 is fine. I can't believe Virgil's 15, but it's a great moment. It really is. It's Piper at his peak for commentary, even though he's a little annoying. I would have Michael stooging for Hogan above the next big thing.
How about Virgil over both of them?
No, it ain't. Virgil ain't going above Shawn. Fuck off.
Yeah, put Hogan Michaels above.
Okay, and then Michael. Well, what's more important, Hogan or Jericho?
Hogan.
Really?
It's a main event. Like yeah. Because Jericho Shawn ends like 2 months later.
Yeah, it's the feud of the year, though, right? But it's more shocking. I don't think that
I'd put it below Virgil. I'm not just saying that. I think Lesnar being crowned is a bigger moment, and I think Virgil is a bigger moment than the punch. Go back and rewatch that fucking pop when Virgil wins. Like it is insane. Like it's nuts in MSG. Like they go crazy when he wins.
I'm not putting Virgil over Brock. Sorry.
No, not over Brock. Jericho below both of them. Yeah.
All right. Orton to cash in and start the Authority at 11.
Yeah.
Michael's return.
Yep.
Bear.
I'm torn on the Savage Liz one because it's
Do we make that 11? Or do you, I mean,
I think it's closer to Virgil than it is to where it is. Because again, it's like this years long storyline,
I
but the
think
wedding is boring
I think the
and
reception and the fallout
is bigger.
is bigger, and
You could
that
do all that without the wedding. You could just have them having like a party or Jake just assaults Savage with, they're
am
on
I
a date.
going lower than 13 with it? Like Jericho punching Sean's
No, I
wife?
think it's up because it's actually similar to Highway to Hell, honestly, because it's in Virgil. I put Highway to Hell above Jericho.
All right, there we go.
And no, Savage and Liz above Jericho. I think Virgil, Highway to Hell, and Savage and Liz are all like kind of similar. It's like these long
All right,
stories.
Savage and Liz at 15 makes sense.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so Hogan stooging at 11, Orton cashing in and starting the Authority at 10. 9 is Sean returning to the ring or Paul Bear turning on
Sean. I think Bear is.
See, I think Sean and Bulldog are like in the same vein. And Bear's a hard one for me. I think we're a little high on it. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know. I think it's a pretty seminal moment. I think it's more tied to SummerSlam. I think Sean's good where it is.
All right, Bulldog versus
Bulldog's above it though because that crowd is like insane.
Yeah, and then Brock and destroying Cena versus the Bulldog.
I'd have Bulldog above.
Yeah.
You think Brock above? Yeah. You know why? Because Brock's win leads to like a decade of him being the top guy.
Bulldog is a flash in the pan besides that night.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
All right, this one's weird. Roman Reigns returning at 20 because it's like you said, it's a Thunderdome, but the Thunderdome is kind of cool in that night, and it would lead to some great stuff. And you want to weigh history, you can weigh history, but it's not really that. Like all the afterwards is like I think we're a little high on it, but I
think I'd put it below Brock.
I think you're right.
Because I think Brock, the Taker win is big, but him destroying Cena shows their commitment to him. Like this is now the guy.
I think SummerSlam Bulldog is.
Yeah, I'm good with that too.
Like is more synonymous with SummerSlam.
Well, because now you're talking like if you look at, we usually end up with these clusters like Reigns and Bearer and the cash in. And even Sean's return, those are like surprises. Like I know Sean was known, but it was a surprise about how good the match was and how good he looked.
I think Roman is I don't think I should put him below Paul Bear.
No, it's fine. I think those together make sense. Yeah.
All right, so now we're in some heavy hitters because I think Brock destroying Cena is 5th.
Yeah.
Now we have like.
Do you think around that time is when Vince finally first texted him about
Janelle Grant,
the secretary or something like that? It seems like that's when they commit to Brock. So I don't know.
You could squash Cena and my secretary if you sign this contract type of thing.
Liz,
do you think Macho text Vince at this time saying, "I'll show Liz if you give me stuff"? You think that's what happened to Justin? What are we? SummerSlam countdown after dark here? Like what's going on?
It's getting late. I'm debating the Brock and the Liz. Keep Liz. I think it's so memorable to SummerSlam history. It was SummerSlam for a long time. Like it just.
I think due to age, the percentage of fans will resonate way more with Brock nowadays. But to keep the lore alive, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
All right. Hart beats The Undertaker, Shawn as the ref. I think that's higher. I'm not gonna lie. I think
higher than Warrior Honky.
I think we're sleeping on it. I really do. You want to talk impact? Yeah, I get Owen breaking Brett's neck caused a shit finish. Right. And I understand everything coming out of it and everything great. Like we're talking semantics and margins here. But like Hart, the spit, the awesome match, and then the fallout.
Leaving that night, I'm trying to think what was I talking about more? And they were both hot. But
you were sad about stuff.
No, I know. So I'm trying to think what was the big story coming out of it? Was it Brett winning the belt with Shawn hitting Taker with the chair, or was it the tombstone?
My gut's telling me the main event. Hart beats the Undertaker with Shawn as the ref.
So do you have that as 2 and Warriors? Owen is 2 and Warriors 3? Or do you have Warrior above the neck?
I think Warriors 1.
Oh, you have Warrior 1.
Well, I'd probably put the Tractor 1, to be honest, but no, I'm just kidding. I love that Tractor.
I read that Tractor right off this fucking show if you bring it up again.
I'm just kidding. Well, here's the problem. There's no defined SummerSlam moment. That's why we're kind of in, like, we have a lot of very good moments, but at Survivor Series, we're fighting like real moments and real WWE historical moments.
Yeah,
like,
that's the thing. None of these really have
none of these are deep.
Brock beating Cena is probably the one that has the longest lasting importance and legacy, like, right? Because it makes him
but he's also a part-timer as well, too, right?
Yeah. You know, that to me, like, kind of is, if you're looking at like the most impactful, right? Like, to me, that's probably it. But I think these other ones are more synonymous with SummerSlam.
I'm good if Warriors 1. My gut tells me Warrior 1, Brett 2, Owen 3.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
my
right
gut.
That. And then Liz 4.
Sure. That's my gut. So what
right, here's what the fans are saying. So they have let's go back here. Bennett has Owen 1, Warrior 2, Liz 3, Brett. So we get the same top 5. It's a little bit of semantic wear.
I can't have a number 1 moment with that shit roll up. That's what I think is causing.
No, I think Warrior killing Honky is iconic SummerSlam moment. Like, Brandon has Brett Shawn Taker 1, so we're gonna have it 2.
It's funny if people much younger than us, Justin, I don't even know if they have this Warrior Honky on the list, right? That's crazy, but we know that how important.
Oh, it's I mean, when you think of Honky's reign and what that meant,
it's the definition of a moment.
And I wasn't even watching then, but I know what it meant, and I'm sure anyone watching, like Bennett, Criscola, like these guys would tell you, it was like Aaron, or it's like Aaron's like favorite moment as well. Like, you know, that's something that just stands out in time.
The definition of a moment.
Yeah.
Yep. A moment versus a match, right?
So we got a few what if, like, shit we missed. We'll get to that in a second, guys, in the comments. So do you want to go over this again, or do you think we're good with what we just said?
No, because we need the audio listeners. We can go 25 to 24. You start.
All right. Mean Gene, fuck it, from 89.
24, 2004, Randy Orton becomes the youngest world champ.
23 is Mountie going to jail in 91.
94 is The Undertaker versus The Undertaker.
Then we have 2010, Daniel Bryan returns for the Nexus WWE War.
All right, number 20 from 2010, Nexus versus WWE with Bryan return.
You're on the next one.
All right, TLC 2000 TLC arrives, Edge, Christian, and the Hardys.
All right, then we go to 2021. That is Becky Lynch returning and beating Bianca Belair.
2022, the Tractor, number 1, baby.
Then we go to 2005, the custody of Dirty Dom with Ray versus Eddie.
Number 16, 2008, Jericho punches Shawn Michaels' wife.
Then we go to 91, which this one dropped by the most. I think we had it like top 3 for a while, and that is the Nuptials turned from Napalm. That is Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth.
Yeah, we didn't really have a feel for the list, and then we didn't realize what was on the SummerSlam and the Fallout.
Right, and how boring that.
I think we weighed the Fallout much more than whatever. All right, this one's like controversial. 1998, A Highway to Hell. Honestly, Justin, the ladder match had more moments within the match, but this is just like the culmination of the Attitude Era, the peak of the Attitude Era in a way, and just the aura and the vibe of that night.
Yeah, and everyone knows that song with that show. 1991, Virgil wins a $1 million title. Classic SummerSlam moment.
Number 12, 2002, Lesnar is crowned as the next big thing.
We go number 11 is Hulk Hogan versus Shawn Michaels, Icon versus Icon at SummerSlam 05 with Michaels stooging around like a nut.
Number 10, 2013, Orton cashes in and starts the Authority with Triple H.
Number 9, Shawn Michaels, surprising return to action, has a classic match with Triple H. His back holds up and returns to another 8 years of wrestling.
All right, number 8 is from 1996. Paul Bearer turns on The Undertaker.
Number 7, Roman Reigns makes a surprise return at SummerSlam 2020 to kick off the Bloodline angle.
Number 6, 1992, Wembley Stadium. The British Bulldog wins the IC title in the UK.
Then we go to 2014 for our top 5, and that is Brock Lesnar destroying John Cena.
Number 4, 1988. Liz strips down and shows a little ass in the main event.
It's Hogan's face on there. Then we go to number 3. That is Owen Hart breaks Steve Austin's neck in 1997.
97. Bret Hart beats The Undertaker when Shawn is the ref, the spit, and the fallout of this main event.
And on Aaron and I's paused greatest 30 title changes of all time, I believe that's pretty high, isn't it? It might be the card number 1, actually, Bret and Taker.
Really?
Yeah, when you factor everything in, it's pretty high currently on the list. And then 1988 is our number 1, Ultimate Warrior squashes the Honky Tonk Man to win the IC belt. And it's interesting to me that 88 and 97, again, kind of make up the top 4 moments on our list.
And earlier I'm like 91, 2013.
But SummerSlam, again, it's more matches. There are moments because like on War, all these SummerSlams finish like top 10. We have like 6 SummerSlams in the top 10 because they got great matches and memorable shit happens. But for these kind of moments, it's not as prolific. All right, I'm going to read you the ones that I had on our list that we didn't include, okay?
Yep.
And then we'll get to the fan ones and we'll wrap up. So here are the other ones we had on the initial cut. Like these are just ones that we were throwing out on the list. 1988, Rick Rude has the Cheryl Roberts tights against Junkyard Dog. 1989, Roddy Piper moons Rick Rude. 1990, Texas Tornado beats Mr. Perfect and wins the IC belt. 1991, Bret Hart beats Mr. Perfect, and you have Lord Al with Stu. And then also Sid and Hogan posing to end the show together. Also, you could even mention Warrior and Hogan tagging. Like that was kind of a big deal at the time.
Yep.
Them being together. 1992, we had Undertaker's entrance in the hearse. And then LOD on the motorcycles was a kind of a classic moment they always point to for these. 1993, Lex Luger's win in celebration with the balloons.
So stupid.
I also did think about too Lawler coming out and doing the story with Doink and all that. When Doink throws the fucking water on Bruce Hart, that's one of my favorite moments.
It's so good.
1994, we had the Hart family war in the cage, where they all go to fighting. They're all scaling the cage. Tatanka selling out against Luger. And then Michael super kicking Diesel to kind of kick off their march to the split at the end of the year. 96, we had the first Boiler Room Brawl as a separate thing. 97, Mankind diving off the cage in the opener. 98, Edge making his pay-per-view debut. 99, Billy Gunn's kissing that large woman's ass when he's has the Kiss My Ass match with The Rock. 99, also Jesse Ventura makes his return and raises Mankind's hand at the end. And throw Shane out of the ring. That's for your dad, you bastard. 2000, Rock bottom Stephanie, which she hadn't really kind of taken a ton of activity yet at that point, especially from a man. So Rock laying her out was kind of a big deal. 2008, Edge gets chokeslammed through the ring to hell. 2011, Alberto Del Rio cashes in the Money in the Bank. 2015, Jon Stewart helps Seth Rollins beat John Cena. 2018, Ronda Rousey winning the women's title for the first time. 2022, Damage Control debuts and forms. 2023, Roman Reigns beats Jey Uso, becomes recognized as tribal chief. 2024, Jelly Roll beats down A-Town. Down. Hey, he's now fighting this year. So those are all the ones we had that didn't make the cut. And then I know we had some fan submissions as well. Let's see. Bennett, that's another good one. LOD coming out. And exposing Demolition for the Hearts to win that. And then Bret Perfect, we talked about on there. Rollins becoming double champion. Is that's
15? The Jon Stewart bullshit.
That's the Stewart one, right? Yeah. Okay.
Honestly, there's a lot of good moments in the 98 ladder match too. You got China climbing, Mark Henry fighting, the acceptance of Triple H, and The Rock leaving the mid card to the main event. That would have been
ICP in 98 is good too, like playing out the oddities, like that's like super over.
That kind of just plays into the whole vibe in a way too, right? Of 98, like you said.
And Kane murdering Mankind with the sledgehammer in the dumpster.
In the dumpster match, yeah.
That's a big deal. And also,
is that the haircut with Jarrett or is that the year after?
The haircut with Jarrett, yeah. And also it's low end, but Val with the chest protector to the ref, like in the opener.
They had a really good feud for the Euro. Yeah.
Every match just kind of has a moment on that show. It's a good show.
So
all right.
Justin, what should our next gimmick be? Because we can't do moments anymore. We're out of them.
Yeah, let us know for Survivor Series where you want the countdown to be. Or maybe we'll do something in the fall. We'll see. But thanks for everyone who watched live. We had a lot of people coming in and out. It was really cool. Thank you for all the comments. Everyone that was here for the long haul.
Brandon, Steve, thanks, guys.
Yeah, you guys were awesome. Look, it's binge time. SummerSlam is this weekend, but Ryan and everyone have been churning out these previews. 12 matches, right? Is that what we got? 14 matches, whatever
Yeah,
the hell
Brandon
it is.
was with me on one of them.
It's a big card. Every match has its own preview on video, audio. There's 2 sections with all of them mashed together. So check all those out. We'll also have the post show. You're doing 2 Saturday and Sunday, or are you just doing Sunday?
We're gonna have
Oh,
to
you're
see.
going. Are you going to the show?
I am going, so we're gonna have to see if Rossi and Richie will do night 1, and then we'll figure out later.
Okay, so there'll be something on here for some kind of wrap up. We've also had some other cool SummerSlam content. Aaron George and I rebooked SummerSlam 95 as part of our NoSo 95 project. So there's some cool stuff. Just again, share us around, subscribe. We really appreciate it. We love you. Thank you for getting us over 1,000 subs. That's really cool. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy SummerSlam. And we'll see you soon here on Countdown.